Welcome everyone to this weekend Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for December 28th through the 30th of 2018. All right, so this weekend we have the moon in Virgo. So themes likely today around maybe analyzing things, analyzing our life, taking care of things on a daily basis. Just a really good time to strive towards improvement and betterment regarding things. So with that theme, we do have a couple aspects this weekend. We have Venus sextiling up to Pluto. So a bit of an opening here this weekend for a bit of enjoying some depth or deeper connections to life and possibly to relationships. And along with this, Mars is going to be conjoining up to Chiron. So likely a good energy for healing this weekend, particularly to our more assertive side. Doing things that maybe require confidence or courage or action can be very healing and rejuvenating this weekend. All right, so let's take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here's the sky for this weekend. We are going to look at this for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just so you have an idea here, here's the moon in Virgo on Friday, and then shifting into, or staying in Virgo on Saturday, and also in Virgo on Sunday. So we are using the actual size of the constellations, which does change the signs from mainstream astrology. A great example is Virgo, where it takes a very long time for planets to transit through this very large constellation. And so the signs are very different from mainstream astrology. If you do notice the signs are different, definitely check out that link down below for more information. All right, so let's take a look here for each of the days, starting with Friday. The moon shifting into Virgo from Leo. So usually quite the contrast, where maybe the past couple days were themes more relating to self-expression, maybe having fun, or doing things we're passionate about, or just enjoying a bit of that fire energy. And we still have some of that fire, which I'll talk about. But the moon shifting into Virgo really grounds things. And this typically gets us more into our analytical side when it's about how things can be improved and striving towards that perfection. Maybe it's about ourselves, maybe it's about our life, whatever it might be about. So a really good way of working with this Virgo is through continuously developing our habits, our rituals, our routines. What do we do on a regular basis? What's almost automatic that we do? What are our habits? And cultivating these things, becoming more aware of them and developing them. Right? Virgo is really good for things that require self-improvement, our work, because that's certainly day to day, and then also things like health, right? So our diet, what are we eating? What's our routines, right? What are our habits and our rituals that we can become more conscious of and further develop when the moon is in Virgo. All right, so we could just be feeling this way a bit, analytical, etc., but great theme today for those types of things. Now, speaking of that fire energy, we do have the sun still well set in Sagittarius, so the larger context is still about expanding our horizons. Right, it's still important to do this. This is our energy at this time, our life force, our prana, when we are broadening our worldview. Maybe it's about inspirations, maybe it's about possibilities, potentials, whatever it is, philosophy, other things, adventure, whatever it is that gives us that spirit for life really is that source of energy at this time. So we are in the third quarter phase of the lunar cycle, which means about a week ago we had the full moon. And this means the sun and moon are in a square over this weekend. And the square essentially represents that these two energies are very different from one another, right? We have expansive Sagittarius, and then we have nitty-gritty, detail-oriented Virgo. So anything we can do this weekend to cultivate both of these energies consciously, right? How can we develop that grounded side of ourselves that does need to take care of things, strive towards improvement, and that sort of stuff, while at the same time being open-minded, all right? Doing things that invoke that spirit for life or adventurousness or expand our horizons. And anything we can do that, again, integrates both of these can be a very constructive way of working with this weekend. All right, so let's take a look at some of these aspects. We do have two important ones here this weekend. One is going to be Venus sextiling up to Pluto. The other is going to be Mars over Chiron. So with Venus and Pluto, there is this sort of coming into the weekend energy with it, be strongest on Friday. And so this has to do with Venus, the planet of what we enjoy, and also relationships in a harmonious aspect to Pluto, the planet of depth, deep things, transformation, facing the shadow, right? These types of matters. But in an easy aspect, this can be easy to do this. And so there's just likely a bit of an opening here, particularly Friday and Saturday, to connect to life on a deeper level, a willingness to do it, an enjoyment about it. And since Venus does rule relationships, and she is at this time well set in her home sign of Libra, this could be particularly involving one-to-one connections, where we're maybe wanting a bit of depth, intimacy, and through that developing further trust in our maybe closer relationships, but even in just surface level relationships, especially with Venus and Libra, just enjoying a bit of that more open, deeper type of connection, right? And it can be easy to do that. It's just a bit of an opening. And with sextiles, we can choose or choose not to work with it. So it's entirely up to us, but do know that energy is certainly available here. All right, so along with this, Mars is going over Chiron, and this is going to be, again, Friday and Saturday, the strongest. And this particularly has to do with healing. Chiron, the wounded healer, the comet, that has to do with becoming more aware of our wounds. And through this awareness and acceptance of them, we heal and transform and rejuvenate. And involving Mars, this is the side of ourself that is active, direct, assertive, needs to take action, needs to assert our needs and our desires, now going through this rejuvenation, this healing process. So if there is anything over the weekend that you may feel like might require some confidence, some courage, some initiative, or something like that, that you feel that if you do, or connect to that energy, can be very healing for you, then it's a fantastic weekend for doing that. We could naturally just feel a bit rejuvenated and a bit refreshed when it comes to this more direct, assertive side of ourselves. Naturally, I think it's going to happen very naturally over the weekend, but especially when we do set the intention, right? When we go into those wounds, when we accept those wounds, we take action or initiative in the face of those wounds. Excellent, excellent weekend for that. And the other side to it too is that when Mars is over Chiron, we could just generally be more motivated to heal in general towards whatever the healing is. This could be not only stuff like this spiritual, emotional, psychological stuff, but also like literal, like physical healing, right? Maybe motivated towards that this weekend. Also maybe physical exercise and activity can be very healing for our bodies, for example. All right. So great weekend for this stuff. That's really the two most important things as we get into Sunday. A lot of the energies are going to be easing up with that. But again, the moon will still be in Virgo. So as is the case all weekend, just a really good time for that detail-oriented, seeing how things can be improved and bettered. How can we develop our healthy habits and rituals, right? And strive towards that with the moon in Virgo, while at the same time challenging ourselves to continue to see the bigger picture and broaden our horizons with the sun in Sagittarius. All right, so everyone have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all Monday for the daily forecast. Take care.